So this is not the update video that I'd like to be doing for progress because we are actually making progress. This is an update video that must come now because literally as I'm working right now, I have to pause. I have to stop. Today is January the 13th, 2026. It is 4:16 a.m. Central Time, and I am fairly good and doing actually fairly good time in keeping up and taking care of the morning news show that I do because I do that. But as I'm working on this stuff here and kind of backtracking and redoing a couple things and looking at some things that I'm just skipping because done it so many times and just it's second nature, but sometimes you're not paying attention. It just has come to my attention on this day at this hour that I need to take a longer break, another break. In fact, I'm not sure how long the break is going to be. Hopefully, it'll be about a week. But there's just on this Tuesday, second day that we're beginning my semester at the day job. There's just way too many things that are weighing down right now to do something as simple as this. And for those of you who follow my journey or just kind of copping in no anywhere, you know that the reason why I'm doing this, do this thing mostly is because it's in my head, something to do. It clears my head and keeps me sane. And because after so many years of waking up at 3 in the morning to do radio, I still wake up at 3 in the morning, and the time between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. is the time where I'm usually not bothered the most. Although in past years, with the way the job market has worked and jobs worked, I've been bothered quite a bit before 5 a.m., before 4 a.m. sometimes, taking care of stuff, which today and this week in timeline, things are going. So we're going to take a break from doing things you might not have heard from the Conversation Project for basically all the More Better Media stuff, which hurts. It hurts a lot because literally a week before every year, about a week before New Year's, I have to kind of struggle and figure out whether I'm going to actually push this thing one more time, one more year. And last 2 years, I've seen progress, even despite dealing with being not quite homeless, but being displaced from the tornado and having health issues. The biggest issue that I have right now is today on the 13th of January. I actually start my actual after having a heart attack, you know, 3 months ago. I'm actually starting rehab to get better, and I've noticed that in the last month or so, I've not gotten better. I've gotten a lot worse. So I've actually have to focus on some health things, which is a small portion of time to work on things, but a big part of the whole life thing that's going on. In the meantime, the struggles that you people know on the inside that I'm having at work, it's not the best time at work. Now, I enjoy working with the people I do and working in education. Education is not the biggest, not the greatest place to work in right now. And some of the things that we're doing right now are light years ahead of where we should be doing. So there's a lot of work to do to, in my, as I say often, fix all the bad ideas that get launched. So there's a lot of extra work going on there that I shouldn't have to do that I'm doing. And so we're going to focus on some of that as well. And that's going to actually take up some of the 3 a.m. wake up time calls to kind of work on some things in some quiet hours. So that's going to happen as well. So that I can work on some stuff in my earlier and I guess my focus hours so I can chill and rest and try to relax in the later hours because right now health is an issue. For as far as much as I want to brag, we are close to about 3,000 followers, 3,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is a lot for what I do and a lot for what I'm doing, and really a lot in a sort of genre where basically anybody can turn on a phone, anybody can yak for stuff, and most of the things that people are covering are kind of silly, kind of nonsense, and they get good responses, and then they disappear. We've been doing this thing. This project here is over a decade old. The channel itself, as its current workings, it's about 4 or 5 years old, and we've finally found some stride. We're getting some real responses. The problem is we're not getting the responses that I'd like to. I'm not getting any collab for work stuff. I'm not getting any real contact with other folks. we're not growing as great as we like to, but we are growing. The comments are getting better. The conversations inside are getting better, and I'm learning a lot going forward. And the people that I get chance to chat to in the small areas are great. You guys are awesome. You guys are wonderful. But as far as, I'm not trying to interview Tony Robbins or Mel Robbins or any Robbins anytime soon. Christopher Robbins anytime soon. But we're not getting a even a mid-level profile, whatever. And to be honest, I'm not connecting with some of the folks that I was connecting before in the broadcasting world because things are shifting. They have priorities. They have to stay on the air and stay busy, and just general news stuff, unfortunately, is not what's really making things happen. Unless you can be sensational, unless you're a Theo Vaughn, unless you are a Ben Shapiro, and then you're just throwing flamethrowers at folks, and that's not making any difference. It's not fixing anything. So we're going to pause. And the hardest part is it means I need to actually not do anything. That's where things get really rough. And so for at least the end of the week, and hopefully I can push it to two, maybe towards revamping and sort of re-engineering back towards the end of the month, we're going to not produce a lot of things. I'm going to kind of sneak in here or there and kind of keep up with what's going on. There will still be news posted on the feeds, if you will, so I can keep up what's going on, because I'm a news nerd and I need to see those things. I need to see how things are actually progressing for myself. But I've got to take a sideline view for a little bit of time because I need to. No edits, just because I need to. The part that hurts the most about doing this video is that our numbers are so low that no one's going to actually care. And that's unfortunate how it works on these internet things. There's been a lot of, I've watched a lot of responses to videos in the last couple months, which is really what's kind of triggered, it has to be triggered here, of people who have essentially given up on channels and people who have gone away from the stuff and came back, and people who have really quit, not the sort of viral I'm quitting sort of meme that pops up. And sometime this year, in the next couple of months, there'll be a bunch of people saying I'm quitting YouTube with their thumbnails that aren't actually quitting YouTube. They're just saying this is how I would restart stuff and trying to re-get things. Right now, I am not quitting YouTube. I don't think I'm quitting YouTube, but there are priorities that must be addressed. There are things in life that must be worked out. And this thing here, while it does starting to take care of itself on a financial level, it's not there yet. And so there's going to be a bit of a drain for a couple of weeks where I'm paying for stuff that I'm not even using the right way. I'm not happy about that, but we need to take a break. So yeah, the good news is I'm expecting a payout from YouTube this month, so that will help out going forward, to look forward for February. But for right now, for the rest of January, it's going to be a toss-up. I can't tell you what's happening. I had plans to basically move things forward, but unfortunately, some other projects that I can't get out of, that I never actually wanted to get into, are taken away. And because those things are there, I'm stuck. So for health reasons, I'm tired and I need to actually work on improving, because through all the things I've done to nearly kill myself, the last thing, the actual heart issue, is now starting to weigh down so that it's really difficult to just get through a day in general. So I need to do that. This helps, whatever, but this is one thing. This helps in a mental way and a spiritual way as well, because there's a lot of internal things that I work through using this stuff, because the education stuff was supposed to overtake this. It did not. But there's a lot of things happening where a lot of people are just sort of doing things, and unfortunately, it's my job to fix many of these things that aren't there. That some things I initiated that just got left to the side and need to be taken care of. Some things aren't my fault, and the people whose fault they are not claiming their faults. And so in order for me to not kill other people, I need to make sure things are fixed so it stops getting in my way. That's my attitude towards it. That's how I feel about a lot of things. If you are getting in my way, you mess stuff up, then it becomes my problem. Then you become my problem. So I have a lot of problems that need to be fixed going on, including one guy who's running the show who's making things really worse. Can't fix that by myself. I'm one vote out of many. But we'll see what goes forward in the midterms and whoever runs in 3 years. Whoever runs, because who knows at this point. So, all that is to say, all this rambling is to go to basically sort of state my case. If you follow me on the internets in the things I do for entertainment and education, whatever word you want to use, it's going to be extremely lax for quite some time because I need to take some time off. The biggest problem is I'm not sure that you care enough that when I go away, if I come back. Unfortunately, that's how it goes. Some things get canceled. Some people get shuffled. Some people go do other things. There's a whole lot of people I used to work with in the radio business here when radio was killing it here in Little Rock that are all selling real estate. And you would understand when you look at it, it's no way that everyone can make money in real estate, but everyone seems to be selling real estate. That's sort of how it works. So that's not happening anytime soon. That's not happening anytime soon. But we do need to take a break from this, which is the part that kills me because this is what brings life to me, what makes me feel good. So expect Christine with the K to be give her lots of love and grace because her husband's going to be extremely cranky for quite some time while he's trying to work through some other issues that should not have become issues but need to be taken care of so he can have more time to do whatever. And I guess you can feel bad for JJ, but JJ is living her best life, so don't feel bad for JJ. She's doing pretty good. She gets what she wants, and we just sort of serve her as it goes. In the meantime, my sign out that I've been using for things you might have heard has become more of a real realization. It's simple. Love you, mean it, and it's there. You may not feel the love when having a general conversation with me, but um, trust me when I say it that the fact that we connect, we have something, some things are more things than others. Sometimes the smaller things are better than the others. The small connections that we have are greater. And if you're just a random person who saw a comment here or there, saw a video and thought this idiot is stupid, let me, be a troll at him, you have contributed as well. Or maybe you said something nice. Most likely you did something trollish, but maybe said something nice. That's there as well. I've done a couple of these little things here or there. I'm going to put this on a larger scale. But the fact of the matter is, I'm just saying this from the standpoint of the business, More Better Media, and for Fast Forward Business Properties, the business that actually does business stuff. I'm going to disappear for at least a week or so because I have to, because there's so many things on my plate in other places that I have to address that must actually be focused on that's going to cause some fights in the real world that I have to battle with. And unfortunately, it's going to get in the way of this stuff to make things go forward. To make things better in the real world, I've got to give up this little fantasy world for a bit where things work well and things here sort of ground me. So I'm going to be scattered from the social medias, from conversations, from texts, from things like that. So because I got a lot of things that need to be taken care of. I've got to clean this office for one thing because this office is a mess, and it's a generally representation of the state of mind I have right now. Nothing's in order, so we need to get things in some semblance of order. So there's some things that must be done. There it is. So for 15 minutes, I have rambled on about what I'm going to do for the next couple of weeks to clear things out and hopefully come back. That means I don't have a real game plan for coming back, and when I do come back, I'm not sure how it's going to look. Well, it'll look more or less like it does now, but I'm not sure if it's going to catch fire or what I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose momentum. I'm going to lose time. I'm going to lose some of the little bit of the the muscle memory of things going on, doing things day by day, have things in a simplest order. But we're gonna take some time. I've got some health issues that are the number one key thing that must be done. And with the health issues, I've got all the other real world stuff that unfortunately, despite my ability to think I can build up towards something and put things in place over time where things should take care of themselves, they're not. So I'm going to have to get a bit angry, get a bit gruffy, and deal with some things that should have been dealt with before and find some ways to kind of get angry instead of working on stuff. My moving forward is now on pause. My next steps is now on pause. My goal to make this thing, me talking into cameras, more of my livelihood than and the other things, is really on pause. And that makes me extremely sad, extremely angry, extremely frustrated because I think I have some talent. Great level talent, who knows? I have some talent. So there's that. This is me. This is it. This is being real. Um, at this point, I'm getting this off my chest. I'm telling you what's going on. This will explain why you'll see less memes, less new stuff, less articles, less ideas going forward. And at this point, whether you like it or not, I don't particularly care because right now I've got other things that must be dealt with. And those other things that must be dealt with are getting in the way of the things that make life great. And so right now it's about life, living, getting healthy, getting someplace. And then, I can, bitch and complain and yell at you folks for all the stuff you're not doing to help me grow. And I'll complain about that later. I will, trust me. We will have plenty of complaints on that later. In the meantime, um, yeah, this video is much longer than it should be. I need to actually, it's still before 5 in the morning and there's still a lot of things happening and things are falling apart literally as I'm speaking in other places. So I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to upload it with no editing. I'm going to get a small little nap and I'm going to start my physical rehabilitation of my heart today, 3 months after I had a heart attack, which is ridiculous. But if you know me, you know me. And then once I get that lined up, I'm going to go to work, get some stuff done, and eventually, hopefully I'll come back here and turn this into something that's worth it. Or finally prove that it's not been worth it, and you guys will be finally done with me going forward. Either way, you're going to not see or hear much from me for a little bit, a week or so at least, maybe more, as I'm trying to figure out what's going on my end. So, love you, mean it. Sorry for the frustrated ramblings, but sometimes you got to say what you got to say. I suspect this is not a post about JJ, so I won't see many actual comments about this one. It is what it is. We'll see you guys sometime down the line.